and so we never made it back.
Okay. Wow.
And so we're here. My daughter and I are both represented, and we've both been doing auditions.
Great.
And I started screenwriting.
Oh, cool. Wow. And just hang on a second. Oh, Lily, just hang on 1 second. So now I am up and live, David. If you just restart Mr. Sci-Fi, you'll see that I'm online now. So we can just I think get things going. We're simulcasting with my Sci-Fi channel. So please, Lily, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no problem. I've been writing shorts and episodes for different. I have a couple of episodics in mind, or maybe three different episodics. One is period based. One is like a kind of like a juicy Sex and the City type set in Rome, Italy. And then my last one is like a series about a civil rights law firm, because that's my background.
Okay, cool.
So, and then, I have a number of shorts that, that are about different issues. So the latest episode I wrote was about, two. One is about, the protests and the different things that people have suffered as a result of protesting, like, flashbang grenades and tear gas. And then the other one is about that really, really sad story where that 10-year-old girl committed suicide in Utah because she was being bullied on the basis of her race. So I wrote an episode about that. And I'm going to have it read this coming weekend, just like maybe 6 pages of it.
Okay.
So yeah,
great.
It's been fun. I've been really just getting myself involved. It's earning money is another thing. I was on set last year 3 times. So one's for a commercial, one's for a short film, and one's for a feature, which was actually I booked it through the table with with Jeff Rector and who else was there? But yeah, so that was great because it was an email that was put out, looking for someone to play scientist. So I submitted, and yeah, so I ended up doing that. That was fun. So yeah, you guys I just love, being on the email list and seeing what everyone's doing. It's just really great.
That's
thanks
terrific.
for letting me chat and say hi. I probably won't be on too long because I've got the kiddos in the background. I got to make dinner. But I just wanted to, come in and say hi. How are you doing, by the way, Elaine, after your surgery? You look great.
Great. Thanks. Yeah, just doing okay. 1 week ago, but doing good. Thank you.
Good for you.
Just a quick question. You seem to have some really interesting ideas. How are you marketing them? Do you have a marketing plan or?
That's a whole other. I would love to be able to market them, but I have no idea. I've just been, I've been writing, and then I've been having them read, and I've just been, just talking to people and, going to writing classes. But I have, the whole marketing part, I have no idea. I have no idea how to even.
Especially something where you have a lot of personal firsthand experience, like being, a civil rights, advocate. Some people are doing breakthroughs by, with the help of the table, doing their pieces as a podcast, starting it as a podcast and getting numbers and attention. And then instead of having to knock on doors, they knock on your door. So you'll see that a number of people are doing more and more, that we've known of a few shows that were sold through podcasts when they're put together.
Okay.
So especially when it's something that is feeling very relevant now.
Yeah.
Because it's a nasty time. Yeah. And when you have personal experience about combating that nastiness, sometimes that really can fly. So
thank you.
Sure. So you might just think of it as a possibility of it being a podcast of whatever length, and then one thing the table can help people with is how to get the word out and get the numbers up, and then you start getting in front of people because you've got numbers.
Okay, thank you. That's a great idea. I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it really could lend to audio,
Well, no, it's
cool.
I mean, podcast, but you could also do it with video too. So
cool.
Oh, you can also do it with video.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can have your own YouTube channel for free, and it can be very, very useful. So
And it sounds like these are topics that we could all stand to do.
yes. So
That's such a great idea. I hadn't even thought about that, but thank you.
Sure.
So anything
Okay.
else, Lily?
No, just
Okay.
was popping in to say hi.
Great.
See
Okay.
what everybody was doing.
Welcome.
Well, cool. Well, good to see you.
guys.
Yes, you too.
Bye.
Yay! So now, at long last, the Mr. Sci-Fi channel is up and running. So, David, are there any questions? Oh, we can't hear you, David.
David?
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Go for it.
Baker says, Mr. Sci-Fi, have you seen the first episode of Picard? Thumbs up or down?
Not yet, but I will, and I will report in on it. I was not impressed with the first season of Picard, but maybe the second season will be better. We'll find out, won't we? And but it's I won't make any jokes. So okay, good. So let's see.
Carol Field?
Carol Field, yeah, you're next on my screen. Go for it.
Does someone want to go before me? I mean, I came in a little late.
No, it's fine. People have been trickling in, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay. Hi, I'm glad you're doing better, Elaine. My God.
She's doing great.
You scared me when you were wearing a sling, because that's what people wear when they get mastectomies.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
no,
goodness,
no.
I
No,
know,
that was
and
a-
I just know someone who had a double mastectomy.
Oh,
I said,
no.
oh, I don't know.
No.
It's just a shoulder replacement. But it was just a shoulder replacement. And you never really need one of those things for a shoulder replacement, except to remind you when you first gotten it, not to do silly
Not to do
things.
stupid things.
Like lift your arm up or
Yeah.
So for a while you just until it gets into your head that you're not supposed to like suddenly swing your arm up,
Mhm.
that there are limited motions for a little bit while it heals.
Mhm.
Then like I'm not wearing it now. I just wear it occasionally when I'm doing a lot of walking or a little
Mhm.
extra support.
Yeah.
But no, you don't need to have it. I don't need to have it. I'm lucky. Yeah.
So how are you doing, Carol?
And I'm busy. Doing a lot. I'm fine, thank you.
Cool.
Okay, I'm wearing two pairs. So this thing that they did in Australia, they wrote another blurb. This week is a Poco Publications, and at the bottom it says, "We leave you here with part 2 of the Poco podcast with Mark Byers. Do not miss out on our upcoming podcast with the very talented Carol Field later this month in a celebration of International Women's Day." It's like, how did they know? I don't know. How did they know it? I mean, they read some of my stuff, and I talked to a couple people. They don't know what I can do, and they called me nice names. So
Wow.
This was very nice.
Great.
So, and someone from the publications wants to talk to me in Germany tomorrow.
Wow,
Oh
that's
my
great.
God.
Is that weird?
That's
So
great.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm just going with the flow and having a good time.
That's fine.
Ride the
Go for it.
Ride the slipstream, lady.
That's great.
Ride the
Yes, thank you.
slipstream.
Yes.
That's great.
Good.
Elaine went away.
Oh.
Elaine went away.
Really?
The gentleman on my screen. Yes.
Who went away?
Yes.
So you can't hear us?
There you are.
Okay.
There you are.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, ride the wave. Okay, I will have a good time riding the wave, most certainly.
Okay.
Very available for whatever you need, cable reads, and knock yourself out. Call me in the middle of the night. I'd be happy to.
Okay.
And and so I just learned so much from David Bartlett's lacerating my horror film, which I decided, you know what it is? I got mixed up. I might have brought this up last week, but it just really clarified now. It's not horror. It's psychological thriller.
Mhm.
It's
Oh,
not
okay.
horror. Because horror today, I think, is synonymous to that slasher stuff.
Depends.
So I think, because I don't know what I said last week or what, but to me, the stuff I loved was like Rosemary's Baby, Ghost, Talented Mr. Ripley,
Sure.
House on Haunted Hill, all
Yeah.
the Hitchcock stuff, and that's the stuff I like, not people running through the woods with hatchets.
Sure. You
So,
bet.
So I have a lot to do on it, but just renaming the moniker helped me to align it better.
Great.
That's great.
Well, that's great. Terrific.
Fun thing that I'm doing here. I'm sorry because I have nothing else to do.
Okay.
So let's see. All is well. And just as a side note, Doctors Without Borders is taking donations for Ukraine, and they're a wonderful
Great.
organization.
Great.
So they're
Great.
all over the country, all over the world, and their main office is in New York.
Great.
Great.
Terrific.
Yeah, I give to those people. They're amazing. When they send off their flyers, they really are great. They make a life and death difference all over the world.
Oh, bless you. Good. And
Cool.
prayers for those people. And
Yeah.
thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Thank
Great.
you for being here.
Yay. 3 chairs. Good to see you, Carol. So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. We have from Mark Lungo.
Hello, Mark.
What are the best and worst trends in speculative fiction today?
Huh. That's an interesting question. I think the worst trend is just wanting to do things differently, and so you create characters that aren't likable in stories that aren't interesting, and you end up with something that does not engage the viewer because it's not a well-told story, it's not well structured, and the characters are, they're basically taking what worked and saying, well, we want to do something different, so they go to the extreme opposite, and it totally screws things up. um and also, and more now, particularly in TV and film, it's sort of like more about the deal than it is about whether or not this thing should actually exist, if there's a creative reason for it to exist. But in terms of good things, both in terms of written science fiction and visual science fiction, I mean, there's, we things get made all the time that are enjoyable and that have merit. It's case by case and person by person. So I just read a book about this sort of ghost story set in the Antarctic in 1937 by Michelle Paver, and I thought it was very, very good. And so I'm going to look into more of her work. But you know, I think it's good that we can find almost anything that we're looking for one way or another online, and that's miraculous. And and I'm really glad we're moving ahead with Space Command. I mean, we're things are really looking up very strongly. So, which I'll talk about when it gets to my turn. So, okay, let's see. So, Galinda, I guess you're next on the screen.
I was a little bit late. Everybody, y'all look wonderful. I love seeing everybody. I don't know if it's that noticeable, but I am in a new place. I got half of my stuff moved with myself to my mom's.
Great.
Go back here this weekend or next and get the rest of it. But my truck broke down on the way here, so I ended up an hour and a half trip taking me about 7 hours.
Yeah.
But the cat is getting over his trauma from being in the truck for so long. And settling nicely, and he's happily spoiled again. And the hamster didn't care. She had a good time, I think. She thought, she wasn't phased by the whole trip at all. I guess she didn't know what was happening. I guess, and she was least traumatized. The cat was the most, and I was third, and I'm okay now, so it's better. Started some conversation with some friends, and realized that there's a little bit of interest in this. There's camping at Malibu State Creek Park.
Mm-hmm.
Creek State Park, where MASH is filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And you can. It's about a 2-mile hike from the campgrounds to the site itself. But you can go and sit at the tables from there and stuff like that. And I think it's a great idea to have a MASH themed camp out. And I've had about 3 or 4 people already go, "Hey, this sounds fun."
That's great.
Huh.
And then I pointed out this is also the side of the Planet of the Apes TV series.
Oh, how fun. Oh, that's fun.
This camp out might get a little crazy, but I think within the next 2 years, we're going to make it happen.
Great. That sounds
Wow,
great. Well,
that's
fun.
fun.
So,
the videos of people in their MASH cosplay, and I hope they're
that's fun.
running around because that would make it even cooler.
Cool.
Yeah, that's like this. It's a little bit long-term project, but I think it would be a blast. Right after that discussion with your roommates, we ended up watching, oddly enough, that led to Omega Man.
Uh-huh.
Right around and watch Last Man on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
We did kind of a science fiction night at the house and going, okay, well, this is the second version of this movie. Well, let's go back to watch the first one. And everybody agreed that the third one was probably the one closest to the
Mm-hmm.
But
That's fun. That's very fun.
So it's interesting. What interesting to me is how I think like the science fiction ends up all connecting background to each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody, an idea that somebody came up with has been evolved in different science fiction, to where, some of these great ideas have kind of started out with a really small thing.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of builds on it. It's kind of like it just evolves as we go. And then we get the actors, the crossover actors iterating all the different things and how much fun that is. But that's, I have not had a great, hugely exciting or interesting week, but it's here. And
Cool.
that's what I meant. I definitely want to send y'all, any details to get on this camp out because I want this open to anybody else who wants to join in because I think it'd be a blast.
Well, that sounds good.
We're just probably renting the army tents,
Mm-hmm.
and cots that we would need. But RV camping there too. So, you know,
Great.
I believe in comfortable camping. I want to camp like a goddess. I don't want to camp like, you know, I'm really at war.
That sounds great. That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, great, Linda. Good to see you.
Yay.
Hi. So, is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Yeah, we have two related comment questions.
Sure.
Bruce Moore and Alex Smith.
Great. Hi, guys.
One says, "I hope you're feeling well after surgery."
Oh,
And
She's doing good.
"Good man looking after your wife. How is she healing?"
Well, the great part was I stayed with her in the hospital overnight, and that was terrific. And it was a wonderful hospital, St. Joseph's in Santa Monica, where I was born. The doctor is a very high-end doctor who deals with major A-list sports guys, so he really knows his stuff when it comes to replacing body parts. And so it went well, and I've been, doing the dishes and cooking, and the dogs are off with Judith.
yeah, and I've been
And,
milking it.
Yeah, she has, and then she had the checkup today with the doctor, and it went great. I mean,
Good.
she's on the mend. It's really, really terrific. And meantime, we're ramping up to shoot again because the doctor said, "Well, yeah, you can direct, absolutely." So, so it's all going great. Anything you want to say, Elaine?
No, I mean I'm fit as a fiddle. Just don't call me at 2 in the morning while I'm still awake. And
Yeah. But
so
yeah,
because then I'll have more trouble putting on this brave front. But it's only
Yes.
like nights are sometimes challenging. But it's really we're coming along. We had a full day today.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So great. But thanks for asking. And let's see. So I guess Judith, you're next on the
Hey,
screen.
Judah.
She looks like she's radioactive.
Judah.
Okay, there we go.
Hello, everybody. Good to see you guys. Do you want to talk to Mommy and Dad? Oh, here they are.
Uh-oh, look out.
Oh boy, boy.
Like
Okay.
your favorite people. Here you are. They're so cute.
Yeah.
I've been watching. It's the only. I've gotten such good sleep with them sleeping on my stomach. It's great.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy week. I'm pushing forward. Unfortunately, my hand is much better. Therapy is going along. I'm losing the cane. I'm not walking with the cane as much. I'm weaning myself away from it, which
Great.
is a big deal, a little challenging, but I'm getting there.
Good for you.
And I've been writing again. And of course, this whole thing with the Ukraine has really got me crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anybody know of any place? I don't have money, but I can go someplace and wrap up stuff that they're sending over to the Ukraine. Does anybody know any place?
If you put an email out to the table, I'm sure somebody would know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
do that because I really feel that I need to contribute.
No, I think that's a great idea. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I will be having a table read most likely at the end of April.
Okay, great.
For Apocalyptic.
Great.
Yay.
I'm going to send it out next week to a couple people, including David Bartlett, and we'll see how
Great.
people lacerate the script, put it back together again, and then get to work on my other stuff. So things are moving along.
Cool.
It's really fun having the little furry ones.
Yeah.
It's really, they make me laugh so much. They're just such a joy. And I'm online. I've been approved by several several rescues.
Cool.
So we'll see what happens.
That's great. Great. Terrific. So anything
We'll
else?
see.
Yeah.
Really, when you take the dogs, it's going to be very empty in here.
Yeah.
So I want to fill it up as quickly as possible.
Okay. Well, that's great, Judith. So anything else you need?
No.
Okay.
I'm fine. I just, and we'll introduce the dogs one by one.
Yeah. Great.
But
Okay.
we don't have any territorial disputes.
No, that's great. Well, 3 cheers. Yay. Excellent. So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
There is. Bruce Moore says, "Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Can you talk for a moment about some of the brilliant composers that worked on the Twilight Zone, and are there any soundtracks available?"
Yes, Varese Sarabande released all the Twilight Zone music a few years ago. If you go on Amazon or eBay, you can probably find those. Twilight Zone probably had the best music of any TV show ever. Bernard Herrmann, who did Citizen Kane and Taxi Driver, and on and on and on. He was one of Hitchcock's top composers. He and Harryhausen He composed some great scores for Twilight Zone. Jerry Goldsmith, when he was just a young guy, just starting out, did some great stuff for Twilight Zone before going on to, Planet of the Apes and the Star Trek, the motion picture, and so forth. There was also Franz Waxman, who came from the golden age of Hollywood, and again, just wonderful. And and then the famous Twilight Zone theme was actually by an avant-garde French composer who was not commissioned to write a Twilight Zone theme. He had just written 3 jazz themes for the CBS stock library, and the head of the CBS stock library, the music department, just put them together into the Twilight Zone theme. So that's pretty fun. That was Marius Constant who composed it. So yeah, phenomenal music, and it really stands up when you just listen to it as a standalone. It was terrific, and also you can see in later films how some of these composers were practicing motifs with a smaller orchestra that they would then use in their features on a much grander scale. So, for instance, if you watch Fahrenheit 451, the Francois Truffaut film of 1967, the score has a lot of similarities by Bernard Herrmann to what he did on Twilight Zone, and also Jerry Goldsmith was doing a lot of percussive kind of stuff on Twilight Zone that then you would hear elements of in Planet of the Apes and many of his other scores. So yeah, it was really a feast for the eyes and the ears. So let's see. So now, Dave, you're no longer driving, so I won't be risking your vehicular hijinks if you take your turn now.
Oh, sure.
Well, okay. How's my sound?
You sound
Good.
great.
You sound good.
You sound very natural.
Well, that's nice. Okay, so let's see. So I'm back home.
Mazel tov.
I was at an annual doctor's appointment where,
Great.
As usual, he told me I'm healthy as a horse. Say it with me, and nearly twice as smart.
You should have said which horse.
So let's see. So face coming in all the time.
Yes.
We haven't really dug much into the new footage that we shot because we've been working on getting the 2 hours, episodes 1 and 2, out to the esteemed viewers. Let's see, we're getting close. I spent some time this week revising the DVD menu background video, and just wanted to bring it all up to date with the latest color correction and the latest the VFX. Speaking of color correction, I've been we put in the full color correction at this point from David Bartlett, so we're going to go through it and make sure everything is just the way we want it, and a little tweak here and there. We have a handful of VFX shots perhaps coming in. We've got to work on the closing credits, and then it's sound. Otherwise, it's all sound stuff, and we're within spitting distance.
Yay!
So,
Unbelievable.
So no spitting.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's about it. Just keep busy, and then we're launching into part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
And as Mark said, things are encouraging at the moment. So
Yeah.
Let's see how the viewers like it. I think they will.
I think so too. So great. Anything you need, Dave?
Let's see. Nothing I can think of. Dinner.
All right, go for it.
Actually, because I didn't have lunch. So yeah, well, I'm fine.
That's good.
We'll talk soon, and let me know what you need.
Great. Thanks. Yay, Dave Edison, ladies and gentlemen. So
Glad you're doing well, Elaine. Oh, by the way,
Thanks.
Galinda,
Mhm.
I don't know if I can't see you on my screen, but I know you're a kitty person,
mhm,
and there are probably other cat people here, or Mr. Sci-Fi.
mhm.
I ruined a couple of evenings for our editor friend Marco Gushewitz
Mhm.
by suggesting this. If you haven't seen Simon's Cat, Simon as in
It's
Simon.
hilarious. It's hilarious.
There's a vote. You have seen it, Belinda? It's it's great. These little cartoons, very short, that a fellow in England does, and they're terrific. And also, you might want to punch up the Trailer Park Boys doing I'm not sure exactly what the name of the sea shanty is. You know it as well.
Mm.
The Kitty Man, the Kitty Man song. So anyway, for you cat people, go for it. Anyway, back to real stuff.
Yay! 3 cheers. So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. Alex Smith says, so what platform is Space Command going to be on as I watch the pilot on YouTube?
Yes, it'll be on Mr. Sci-Fi at various points. It'll also be digital download. It'll also be Blu-ray and DVD. We're setting a meeting with Netflix via Tony Etz at CAA to go in, and we'll see where that leads. But our plan is to shoot the entire season of Space Command this year, plus the Showrunners Network pilots. We're doing 5 other series with Rockneil Bannon and a variety of other series creators. Oh, Judith, you may want to mute your yeah. There we go. But yeah, it'll be available in a lot of places, and we're also making available the prequel, which is an animatic. We're making available the bonus episode, Ripple Effect. Lots of stuff to watch and enjoy. So that's the main stuff. So let's see. So now I guess Moguls. If you want to take your turn, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Lily called me to bring me into the group. And,
great.
I've just been hanging out, lurking, and listening to everyone.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
Great. Hi.
Hi. I'm a TV editor.
Good.
I've been editing professionally for about 17 years.
Great.
And I live in Orange County.
Cool.
And I mostly edit comedies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always looking for fun stuff to work on, and
great.
That's basically me in a nutshell.
Well, great. So, and I don't know
My
if
daughter's here too.
hello.
Hi.
And yeah. So, Lily mentioned, I don't know if she told you that the table, we've been running the table for 29 years. It's thousands of people around the world. Once you come to one meeting in person, which this officially represents, you can then, David Bartlett can hook you up to the email where you can send out one email to all several
David
thousand members. He's the guy in the blue shirt, in the brown shirt. And it's a very powerful tool. Eventually, in the near future, we'll be starting to have meetings in person, and we'll also figure out the way to make a Zoom component of that work as well. So that's coming up very, very soon.
So is there anything you need in terms of your career?
Yeah, any advice or any help?
Yeah.
I've been here in California for 5 years, and I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of a network of people going.
Good.
But I'm always interested in hearing like how I can be connected to people who are making small things so that I could be involved with small things in the beginning of them.
Yes.
As opposed to not just working on like heavy duty stuff.
Yes. Well, certainly, Dave Edison is an editor, and so is Mark Agushowitz, who just came on, and they frequently work on short projects by various table members, and a lot of them are comedy shorts, so definitely you guys can exchange information and maybe have a conversation, afterwards or in the next few days, and I'm sure they can point you in the right direction.
Tends to be very busy making stuff.
Yes, the point of the table is to make stuff.
So if you have a reel, you put up a reel and you just say, I'm open for editing anything, but mostly I would like.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll get people reaching out to you.
Absolutely. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, and
I'll put my contact information in the chat. My website is ancient. I've been rebuilding it, and there's a lot of new stuff I have to add to it, but at least the contact information will be there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'll put my website in the chat too.
Great.
If you guys want to see some clips, it would be cool.
Oh, cool.
Sure, terrific. Nice. Well, great. Okay. Well, welcome. 3 cheers. Yeah. Yay.
No, thank you, and thanks a lot for being so welcoming.
Of course. And again, the reason we started the table 29 years ago, and it meets every week, is so that people would have a place to go to get emotional support, to be helped with what they were doing, to get stuff made. There's no requirement to ever help anyone, but it's encouraged. And it's basically, there's no judgment about who's deserving, who has talent. We have Oscar winners, and we have people just starting out. Everyone is accorded the same respect and treated with the same courtesy and kindness. So
it's just artists helping artists with nobody's hand.
Yeah. So it's Hollywood the way we wanted it to be. So we made it. So there you go. So okay, great. So is there another? I know, but is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Yes. We have Scott Baker says, are there any Ukrainian or Russian actors or crew in the Space Command family with friends or family in Ukraine at this time. Give them a hug for me. War is an obscenity.
Yeah, I agree. We actually have Ukrainians in our neighborhood. The woman who lives across the street with her family is from Ukraine. I actually asked her, I said, are you Ukrainian or Russian? She's Ukrainian. And so we were talking and offering her, emotional
It
support.
was a resettlement area, so we do have a lot of Russians.
Yeah, and one of our actresses that's in episodes 3 and 4 is actually Russian, Tatiana, and she flew in from Russia before all of this stuff happened. So, but again, it's just crazy and horrible, and we'll all be glad when it's over, hopefully with as little harm to people as possible. But yeah, it's crazy. So Michelle Hart, I guess you're next. Go for it.
Michelle?
Michelle, are you there? Michelle? Oh, no?
No?
Okay, well,
Michelle?
I guess.
Yes, in fact, I am here.
Oh, good.
Hi,
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
No, and the reason you can't see me is that, trust me, I have been down with a cold from hell for 3 days.
Oh no!
Oh,
And
dear.
not only I don't want you to see me, I don't even want me to see me. I will say I am guaranteed that I don't have COVID because I did a day's work at Fox on something called 911 Lone Star doing background. And I was tested on Saturday and I worked on Monday and they tested me again on Monday. So I don't have COVID, but let's see, it's gone past the nose running like a faucet to the cough barking like a seal level.
Oh Jesus!
God.
Oh man!
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
got it.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's where I am at the moment. And do I need anything? Probably more Kleenex.
Yeah. We get it. So
I live on Sudafed and hot tea on those occasions.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing all those involved tea related things with herbal stuff and fresh ginger and it's still I haven't had a cold in about 4 or 5 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
And I've forgotten how wretched one feels.
Yes.
Michelle, put a warm young thing on your chest.
A warm young thing.
If I had one of those, I probably wouldn't have gotten sick to begin with.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Frequently I have a nice warm cat that settles.
Yes.
Except it somehow knows how to put a paw right where my solar plexus is.
That's
prevents
great.
me from breathing in yet another way.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
I just wanted to check in and see how everybody else was.
Great.
Because you're all in much better shape than me, even Elaine, who's just had surgery.
Yeah, well,
Oh dear, how miserable.
That's my story.
Yeah. Well, feel better, and we'll talk soon. Yay! 3 cheers, Michelle.
And Michelle, if your cold wakes you up at 2 a.m, give me a call and we can chat about how miserable 2 a.m. is.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah, really, that'd be
Say
funny.
back at you.
Thanks. Feel better soon. So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question? We can't hear you.
Oh, David, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
I'm looking for Mr. Gregory Krug says.
Hi, Greg.
What are your opinions of the 1950s show science fiction theater?
I've always found it rather anemic. I grew up watching it, but it was always sort of like, well, if there's nothing else on, I'll watch that. It didn't have a lot of muscle. It was like Rod Serling really was the right mix of passionate about the human condition, politically, driven, had a lot to say, had a lot to get off his chest. Plus, he had a great story sense and knew what a great story was, and brought aboard that amazing writing team that he had. So I always found science fiction there was like, this is a robot. Here's a story about a robot. It's like, oh man, but I'm glad it existed. I mean, anything that helped popularize science fiction for the mass audience was great. It led to the wonderful world of science fiction we now live in. But it's like, if someone told me, hey, you can get a box set of science fiction theater, I would say, well, not eager for that. So, but let's see. So, David, do you want to take your turn? You haven't had your turn yet.
Sure.
Okay, great.
I am David Bartlett. I am a filmmaker, what am I? A filmmaker, a teacher, and a human rights activist, and a producer on Space Command.
Yay.
We have lots of stuff going on Space Command. I love Mark filling in on it, but I've been doing some color correction on it, and I've been having a grand time. taking an extremely difficult situation in a number of cases and making it not only palatable, but actually looking kind of good in certain cases.
Yeah.
So there is that. I have.
I'll vouch for that.
Well, thanks. I have a career that started in 1980 officially, although my first film was made in 1969 in a barn on my parents' property, which is now my property. So I'm going to go back up and make another movie in the same barn before it gets torn down. So I have that ahead of me. I am, let me see, I started out in Hollywood on some very giant movies with some very amazing people like Robert Wise, who directed and produced The Sound of Music and West Side Story, and he was the editor of Citizen Kane. He was my first advisor. I worked with James Cameron when he was a set designer at No World Pictures, and I've worked with William Friedkin, taught a class at Sherwood Oaks College, and I took that class, and then 10 years later, I got to work with him on a film, so that was very exciting for me. So I did that for a while. I worked in low-budget films. I have a story about a low-budget film I worked on that I thought of today, and I worked on some very expensive films, so I got back designing sound, and I worked on Pulp Fiction and Speed and Total Recall and Predator 2 and lots of movies like that. I started making my own independent films with my friends and with myself, and now I have 69 Film Festival awards.
Wow.
And just won Audience Choice Award for a feature I produced with James Gannier, actually, and that was at the Santa Fe Film Festival. So there is that. Let's see, the humanitarian part, I have an announcement there. I've been given a humanitarian award and an honorary doctorate by a group in Nigeria.
Wow.
Won't be able to go to the award show because it's only in about 5 weeks from now, and it's just too tight and it's complicated, but it's too much. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get those awards and certificates and have them and stay in touch with them and maybe try to go next year.
Dr. Bartlett.
Yeah, that's fun. I will be doctor. I will be a Dr. Bartlett.
Yes, sure. That's great.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
My sister Ness, she's got a bachelor's degree in cinema from NIFA, and she's going back to she's studying now with them to get her master's degree. And I was like, why are you doing this? She wants to get a doctorate degree so she can be called Dr. De Los Santos. So she's going for that. I said, okay, that's cool. Anyway, so that's fun. And that satisfies temporarily my need for humanitarian work because I haven't been doing very much of that lately. And the teaching part, I helped Carol Field with her script. And that's kind of a teaching. I was more giving her notes, but also certain ways to use tools for the future, which is, in my opinion, teaching. So that was fun. And we will probably do more. I'm looking forward to that. So here's a story about my filmmaking that no one's heard. I worked on a short film a while ago. Here's the thing, okay? My sister has a Prius that is totaled, and the car is on our property. So I want to go up and shoot something up there. So I said, okay, well, what does she want for this? She wants to part out the car. Well, you don't part out cars really. So you take some parts and try to sell them. So I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you let me pull all the parts you want, because I'm a mechanic too, and then you can give me what's left of the car. So she liked that idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there, I'm going to have the star of the film rent a Prius that looks just like the one that she's told, and have her drive around in the film and use it for her journey throughout the movie. And then she'll park with her boyfriend in the forest, and at the last minute we'll switch the car, and some people will come out and they will destroy the car. They'll put graffiti all over the car and ruin the windshields and then blow it up. So that's what I'm going to do.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Great.
She thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So the story is, I worked on a film that something like that happened in. I was on a short film, and they had a big Cadillac written into the script, and they found a car that was an older car, and it was in good shape, but it was not very expensive, but it needed to be destroyed in the script. So the producer at the time found another car that matched it, but she didn't look very closely at it because it had big chrome wheels and fat tires, and it was jacked up in the back like a lowrider, and it had there were other things about it. It didn't match. So at the last minute on the set, they destroyed the good car.
Wow.
They could
Jesus.
destroy the bad car. So the bad car had to be dealt with, and the good car had to be dealt with because it was all falling apart. So we worked 24 hours straight. So I ended up driving the good car that was destroyed back to park it somewhere to get rid of it. And I got pulled over, and 2 different sets of people stopped me because I had like a 3-day growth of beard, and I was super tired, and the car was literally destroyed from one end to the other, but it was still drivable and legal. So that was an adventurous night.
Wow.
So I ended up getting to take the car that wasn't so good and using that for my car for about a year.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go. Stranger things.
Yeah. Well, that's a story. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Space Command. Space Command has shoots coming up. It needs crew. It needs especially carpenters and set people. If you have an interest in these kinds of areas, you could get paid. You could work as a volunteer. Some people prefer volunteering because they can come and go as they please, and they don't have to commit to a longer schedule, all sorts of things. So it's advantageous for everyone. You can contact me. If you want to get on the table email, you can contact me about that too. That's a little different. What you do is you have an email name of yours that has a first and last name, the full first and last name of yours, and it's not a Yahoo email. So once you get that, you can send it to me and I can get you set up. I will put that into the chat here, and the Mr. Sci-Fi people are also welcome. And that's it.
Great. Yay. 3 cheers. So is there a Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
There is. So we have Alex Smith here. I have a friend who writes plays. I have an idea to give her for a film script using the multi-dimensional idea. It's going to be called Glimpse or Glance. I can't say any more.
Okay.
As far as I've got.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure. It's not really a question.
No. Well, go. Just keep going.
Comment
Yeah.
on it,
Sounds good. Sounds good. I don't know. I mean, it's yeah. Go for it. So there's no question specifically. I can see one here. Let's see.
I can give you another question.
Yeah,
if you
please.
don't want that one.
Yeah, because I like something with a question. Yeah.
Well, Rodrigo says, how can you make an interesting hero or villain when every motivation has already been made?
Yeah.
Or we have to find freshness in other parts of the story. Hello, Mr. Sci-Fi, and greetings from Argentina.
Thanks. The real answer to that is you don't have to cook up new motivations, because it's basically always about, life, love, death, all the, safety, all of the standard things. It's the details in the script. It's the world you show us. It's, it's the specifics that make a story different, because it's sort of like, there are very few actual different stories when you really take it apart. I was once telling a friend of mine, what was it? How 2 films were the same film. One was this big science fiction epic. The other was a little character piece, but they were absolutely the same film structurally and in terms of the drive of the character. And so, I wouldn't worry about being original. I would just worry about being truthful and telling as, meaningful a story as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I think where people sometimes make a mistake is they say, I'm going to make an evil person, rather than somebody who, rather than seeking their motivations and why they have certain motivations and why they may be making bad or cruel choices, or maybe just very different choices, putting them in conflict with the hero, where the hero is making one kind of choice and the person who is in opposition to the hero is making a different kind of choice and has themselves justified. It's much more interesting and much more real to have a villain who is not intentionally evil, unless of course they're a corporate swine. But beyond that, I mean, generally it's like you want to. That's one thing that I like about Streetcar Named Desire very much. In that, I don't know if you've seen it or read it, but these are just, we have both Stanley Kowalski and we have Blanche Dubois, and they both have self-defining visions of the world that make them important and make their world important, the world they love important, and they're just in damn conflict, and they can't be in the same on the same plane and have Stella love them both. It's got to be a choice.
Right.
It's one world or another, and of course.
Yeah. But Elaine, you're not remembering it well because they're not on a plane at any point. They don't
true.
Fly anywhere.
They don't fly anywhere. No 737 Max is here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So anyway, but
you just watched the documentary on that.
I did. So, but it is much more interesting if you don't say, "Oh, here's somebody who's purposely evil." It's somebody who's just made choices, and the more complex the choices, the more human the choices, the more interesting the story. Like,
well, yeah, the most important thing is don't just imitate what you've seen before. Find the way to have it be something from the heart, you know, your heart and your knowledge. It doesn't have to be your life, but it should be
a truth.
Well, a truth, an emotional truth, yes. And so, okay, so that's the answer to that. So I guess, Mark Agush, was you're next on my screen. Go for it.
How are you doing?
Good, good, good.
Good. All right, so I've had another busy week. It would turn out that more people are looking for editors now, and knocking on my door. Old clients kind of showing their faces, which is good. It keeps me busy, keeps the money rolling in. This deadline of a week from tomorrow is kind of kicking my butt, but moving forward on it. It's an editing job for something that plays on the airlines. Where do we start? Okay, so I have a website called Underexposed Cinematic Treasures for anybody who's new, where I recommend what I call underexposed films, which is films that need a wider audience. And I'm going to mention one right now because I got an email from David about looking for films to watch. And there's an incredible one that you might want to watch called Triangle by a director named Christopher Smith. It is a thriller, it's a suspense, and it's absolutely fantastic. I have a new review going up tomorrow for a movie called Warrior, which is an MMA boxing movie, but it's just so much more than that. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's underexposedcinematictreasures.com. What else is going on? It sounds like we're getting close to finishing the Space Command Blu-ray stuff. I got a note from Mark, which I'll be doing on Saturday.
Great.
I can't really go by your suggestions because I don't have any of that stuff, but me and Dave Edison talked and we came up with a solution.
Great.
For something that would be kind of cool.
Great.
And then the Comic-Con stuff, it's pretty much done. I just need to kind of get away from this other project to sit through it and make sure it's done, and then I can export it. So if you don't have it by Sunday, then there's something wrong with me.
Okay, great.
Other than maybe the internet's really slow, it'll be a big file uploading, but I will definitely, I put some hours aside this Saturday to make sure I finish that off for you.
Cool.
Anything else? My zombie movie got into another film festival.
Oh, great.
Which I haven't submitted for a while because after Christmas I ran out of money. So this kind of came as a surprise. Because it was something I submitted to a while ago. It's called Monsters of Horror International Film Festival. And it's in Oklahoma or someplace like that. I always like when they put the word international in there, because if you win an award and you put those particular awards up on your wall, people just think it's like this big impressive film festival. You know, I don't know anything about this. It sounds pretty cool, but I once won an award at the International Horror and Sci-Fi Film Festival, and I put that on my wall, and everybody stares at it, and I just don't have the heart to tell them it's this little tiny itty bitty festival in Mesa, Arizona. I just happen to get the name, and it's gotten me work because I haven't said those words.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool, and starting next month, I got to start submitting it again to festivals. Because after hearing the amount of festivals wins that David Bartlett's got, I got some catching up to do. So, other than that, just busy, trying to work with, I was working with a writer on a screenplay that we're going to try and shoot. A couple of little wrenches got thrown into the works on that, but I think it's going to smooth itself out. Nothing bad, nothing like we got into a big argument or anything like that. It's just that's the nature of the business kind of stuff. And I guess that's kind of it for me.
Okay.
You know, just a lot of work coming my way, and as much as it's stressing me out and kind of giving me no time to think. I just remember, in 2 months, they have nothing. So I'm going to be grateful when the work comes.
Okay.
And whoever that new editor or whatever, when I came on,
Nick,
just remember that.
Yeah.
Get the work when it comes, because this is a strange business. And sometimes you can go a couple of months without it, and then all of a sudden, everybody wants you.
Yeah, I feel you. Thank you very much for saying that.
Yeah, I do have to look at my website though, because Dave Edison recommended somebody over to me about a job, and they emailed me and said they went to my website, but some of the stuff was passworded, and nothing on my website should be passworded.
That's weird.
So I got to find out what that is.
I know what that is. If it's on YouTube, go into your YouTube page and make sure that it's updated, because they changed some of their policies. So some of the things have to be. You've got to be able to tell them if it's not made for kids and clear up that section of YouTube, and then you can change it back to public or even unlisted.
And they don't tell you this?
It's probably in one of the policy updates from YouTube that we all just ditch.
Yeah.
And don't read the details.
Yes.
All right, yeah, because I don't know why anything would be passworded. I put my stuff out there for people to see, not for people to guess.
Right.
So anyway, I think that's about it for now.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Okay.
We'll talk about it next week.
Okay, 3 cheers. Great. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Indeed. Scott Baker says, what is, in your estimation, is the absolute worst sci-fi B movie ever made?
Wow. There's a lot of competition. It's hard to say, because realistically, I have a lot of affection for a lot of films that other people might think are really terrible, like the Monolith Monsters, things like that. But for me, the worst sin is if a film is boring. And if it's boring, I don't tend to watch it, because it's like, oh man, I'm not going to hang out for this. So there are, and the problem with science fiction movies, particularly science fiction movies of the 50s, is that you can't tell from the title, because all of the titles are hyperbolic. So, so one film like, Day the Earth Stood Still is a great film. And, another one, Sirens from Space or whatever, would not be. And so it's case by case. My friend Bill Warren, wrote a wonderful book called Keep Watching the Skies, which is a film by film review and informational tome about all the 1950s science fiction. It's terrific. He interviewed all of the people when they were still alive, and I highly recommend it. You can find it on Amazon and also on eBay. So there you go. Now I see Ben and Emily.
Our friend Joe Dougherty posted yesterday that it was 60 years yesterday since the debut of To Serve Man.
Huh. Wow. Well, that's one of the greats. And now I see that Ben and Emily have come on. Last time their sound was extremely distorted. I don't know if it's been corrected. Hi.
Hey, how's everybody?
Good.
Great. Hi. We can hear you.
Listen, we thought we were going to catch up with Howard Benjamin tonight. I guess we must have missed him, or he didn't come on.
He wasn't here tonight.
Yeah, he was. Yes,
no.
Last time.
Just want to let you know we all doing fine and still working on. Can you hear anybody? Hello?
Yeah. Hi. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Yeah. Go for it.
Could you hear? So we're just enjoying ourselves, listening to everybody, and we look forward to the meeting again next week. So we're just going to kick back and enjoy the rest of the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for joining us.
So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, we have now. Do you think you will work on the new Babylon 5 if it happens?
No. Nope. For various reasons, but I wish them well, and I hope it does get made, and I hope it's wonderful. So let's see. I guess Dalton Davis, I guess you're next. Go for it. Introduce yourself and say what you need.
All right. How y'all doing? My name is Dalton. I'm an author, animator, creator, and I really enjoy this meeting. And,
cool.
Just sharing some updates on things. And so basically, last time I spoke here, I was mentioning how have the idea and everything, and I'm talking with the illustrator and trying to flesh some things out. So actually I have an illustrator. Illustrations are looking really great for the pilot. And so right now I'm in the process of just doing some animation, going over different poses and things like that. And so like the more and more I'm going into it, the more and more things that are rising for me to communicate to the illustrator, and also as far as writing as well. Just basically trying to create like I guess a personality that a character personality that kids will remember. And so I've just been looking at different series and things like that, and I'm fortunate enough to work with 5th to 8th graders.
Great.
And so I get to see what they like, and so just try to I watched a few things like as far as writing for writing comedy within animation, and so part of my question, if anyone have any suggestions in regards to like really making a character memorable, like why would kids care about this particular character? I'm really close to the story and everything, so it's we appreciate this any kind of outside kind of deal.
Well, we tend to care as much as your character cares. And if somebody's bored or withdrawn, we can't get involved. But if there's something they really care about and they're seeking for a reason, for something that we may understand, like I don't care about car race movies.
Right.
Many people do. I don't care. But if they give me a really good reason as to why that person needs to win that race and what it represents to them, and it's something I can comprehend, like to please a parent, to finally get over a fear, to finally say that they won't accept second best from themselves. If it's something where you can get behind it, even though you might approach it in a different way, the more passionate that person is about something that we would care about, except they are putting themselves on the line to achieve that thing they care about, where they can buy into hope and buy into striving and buying into being somebody special without having to make somebody less for them to be special. That's usually something that really draws young people who want to be amazing.
Right.
They just want to be amazing.
I mean, there's several things with animation. Obviously, if it's fun looking and different looking, if it's distinctive and entertaining and funny, and I mean, it's all the same stuff. I mean, the first priority of anything is be entertaining. And the way to be entertaining is to be fresh, to be interesting, to be truthful, to be, we all know when something's of quality, and you can't lecture, you can't be on a soapbox, you can't be boring, you can't be stupid, you can't be cliche. I mean, those are all the things that are going to drive people away. You test it with your target audience, you see if they like it, you see if they respond, and if they don't, then you know that's not working. But the first step is entertain yourself, and then if you're entertained, that's a good starting point. And I strongly believe in making stuff, putting it out there, seeing what the response is, and then course correcting, because you can never know if something works if you just keep it to yourself. There's our personal opinion is the least important in terms of whether something's going to work in the outside world. So you have to take it out for a spin and see what people think of it.
We were supposed to write something that would involve with the audience, a child character. So we were allowed to go and talk to a special education group of gifted children.
Yes, Montessori.
And they just said, what are your concerns?
Yeah.
What do you think about? What do you worry about? What do you want to have happen?
Yeah.
And that was fascinating.
Well, yeah, I think you did that. I don't think I was there.
You weren't there? No,
I don't think so. Because why would I go talk to kids? No, but seriously, I mean, over the course of our 40+ year long career, we've written a lot of some of the most likable characters in television. Whether it's Brainy Smurf or the Ghostbusters or any of these characters, and the trick is always you find the emotional truth, so the story has a point that registers here. because this is where you're going to get someone to like something. It's not about the idea of something, it's about the heart registering. And then, you know, you want them to be funny, you want them to be I mean, the jokes have to land, and it shouldn't be at the expense of characters. You want to be kind, not cruel. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Just see, the real trick is watch things that you like and try, and then take them apart and figure out what is it about them that makes you like them. You know,
there's a fascinating thing that you can do at a community center. I did it. It's called, you can look it up in the library. It's called Playmaking with Children. And what you do is, when you're playmaking with children, is you talk through a potential story and you let them find the answers. And the one that I got just talking with the children was that there were two shepherds from opposing villages, and they didn't. The villages hated each other, but these two fellows, these two shepherds, they ran into each other, and they started out hostile. And they realized that they really liked each other, so they said, well, let's tell our fellow villagers that we're really that other village is really pretty good. Each village isn't what we assumed. So the two shepherds went to the first village, and the first village would not accept the outsider. And then they went to the second village, and the second village would not accept the other outsider. This was children's choices. And I said, so how do you want it to end? Do you want to go back to your separate villages or start something fresh together? And they decided to start something fresh together. This all came from the children. I just said, what troubles you? What are the choices? What do you think the reactions would be? And then you really start to find out within any time period, with any group of children, how they see the world. And so the two shepherds who went off together would not be defined by people less than themselves. And I thought that was a great story. And they made it up.
Yeah. Yeah, but also the great thing about film and TV today is that there is such an enormous variety of kinds of entertainment, of successful entertainment, a wide variety of tone, a wide variety of style. And so you've got a lot of great, examples to learn from. And it doesn't have to, and the main thing also is never feel you have to imitate something that you don't personally like. You don't have to be like other people. You have to be the best version of yourself in terms of what you create. And, that's all. So anything else?
That's good. Also I was thinking about but that was good. I like how when you initially started, you care for, what that character cares about. It's
Yes.
like sounds like we're drawn into that particular passion.
Yes.
And that character actually genuinely likes that. And it's like, and it kind of creates like a magnet.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
And again, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. It's very dependent on what the show is, who the characters are, what their relationships are, and Elaine and I tend to like to write compassionate characters. We like to write characters who are selfless, who are there for other people when the chips are down. I mean, a lot of TV particularly is about creating surrogate families, and like Star Trek, the crew on the original Enterprise, that's a surrogate family. Any ensemble comedy is a surrogate family, whether it's MASH or Friends or Seinfeld or whatever. And so you're looking at relationship, and so that's one way of doing it. So okay, anything else, Delton?
That's good. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Cool. Yay. 3 cheers. So is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
There is. Bruce Morris says, are there any hidden Easter eggs on the Space Command DVDs?
Yes, tons and
yeah.
tons. Yes. And let's just put it this way. The more you know science fiction literature and film and TV, the more you'll get the joke. I mean, we craft it so that you don't need to know all that stuff to really be able to enjoy the show. But all the Space Command characters are named after famous science fiction writers from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, whether it's, Asimov, Bradbury, etc. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff, and even more to come in what we're shooting in the days ahead. So yes.
That
But in answer to your question about Easter eggs, no.
Yes.
We haven't designed any Easter eggs into the menu.
I see.
But we possibly could. We can talk.
Yeah, but in the show, there's lots of stuff, so yeah. So, okay, cool. So then we have Ian. Ian, you want to introduce yourself and say what you need? Oh, make sure you unmute. There you
Oh,
go.
there you go. Okay.
Great.
My name is Ian Lasky. I was an investor.
Hi, Ian. Now I recognize you. Yay.
Okay.
So I'm a part of the I'm if you remember Jesse L. Lasky, who founded Paramount along with Adolf Zucker. I'm his great grandson on my dad's side.
Wow.
And I'm also volunteer at the museum across the Hollywood, the Hollywood Heritage Foundation, and I'm involved with them.
Wow.
And when I was young, I decided I wanted to be an actor, and which kind of caused a little bit of strife because everybody is producers and and actors, and they were like, if you want to be an actor, it's like, good luck, And but I really enjoyed performing, and so I kind of done a little bit of producing in that. I've been donating money here and there to different productions. I've also been working on my craft, and a few years ago I decided I was going to do stand-up, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I got invited to the Edinburgh Fringe festival, and I'm going to go there in August.
Great.
And do some stand-up. It's not going to pay anything, but it's just I'm just going to meet people.
It's a terrific experience. We've been to the Edinburgh Festival. Highly recommended. It's an amazing experience. It's a beautiful city, and it just comes alive for those few weeks. It's really terrific.
Yeah, I've never done it. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So so it's fun. I just got a part in a kind of like it's called like Dreams of Dissonance, and it's not a science fiction. I'm sorry. It's a fantasy role play kind of D&D type of movie. It's kind of my character is an alchemist. And we're in a group of adventurers, and that's the whole thing. It's going to be on YouTube. They're doing like 5-minute videos.
Wow.
And we're shooting it out locally by me. So I got that, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about my Space Command because I think my character is a literal Easter egg. And I got the joke. That's why I picked it.
That's great.
And it's now sitting proudly on my mantle. And I tell people about it when and I've seen your show, and I've read your scripts because I've got it all. I admit that I haven't done this yet, but I need to give you my pictures for the animated character because I did that as a bonus, and I just haven't done it yet.
Oh, great!
So I need to forward it.
Great.
But other than that, I mean, it was just such a nice experience to meet you, and and Edison asking me to be here, and I just was very flattered that you guys would want me. So I'm really happy about it, and it was just such a nice experience to be there and meet that actor and stuff. And when she did her scene, my God, it hit me right here in the heart when she was being jettisoned out.
Yes. Wait till you see it when it's done. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Look on her face, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
It's
and so my only thing is I have an idea of a storyline in my head, and like a story arc that I want to do. It's kind of like a horror / science fiction kind of thing. I don't want to explain because I don't want to give it away, but I'm having trouble sitting down and doing a workflow that matters. Like, I'll sit down and then I'll go, oh, I have to rearrange my sock drawer now. I have to get it out of my head.
Right.
That's like, and I think I have talked to other writers, and they say they get to that too. So it's like I sit down and I go, wait a minute, what about the, and then I don't do anything. And so
I can give you some advice on that, Ian. What I do is I go where I can't be interrupted or distracted. So in other words, I try not to write at home generally, because then it's like everything's talking to you. It's saying, well, you take down the garbage, you got to do the dishes, you got blah, 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 blah. So actually, most recently, I just have a chair back on the patio, and that's my writing chair. And I go there, and I'm on the patio, and there's nothing to distract me. And I just sit and write, and I set a timer. So it's like, okay, I'm going to write for the next hour or 2 hours or whatever. And you honor that. And so even if you get nothing written, you stay there for that time, because you're opening the space to find that ability, you know.
But as a brand new writer,
Yes.
Like let's say you had pressures to not write.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Mark was moving from animation into live action, and he had to write some sample scripts. There was he'd work all day very hard, you know, and sometimes over the weekend writing, and then he'd have to be doing his sample script. So in order to get the discipline to do it, he did what we highly recommend, which is an extension class from something like UCLA, where they have professional writers coming in and teaching, and you can take it online. But the extension class of a writer that you actually like, because then you're not writing in a vacuum, and the whole trick, it's not a matter of discipline, because there's so many things to get in your way. It's a matter of habit. It's like we brush our teeth. That's not a discipline. It's a habit. But we feel yucky if we don't, right? So what something like an extension class helps you with, either an extension class or a group, but a lot of groups are a little bit destructive. But an extension class working with a good writer who actually is a writer, not a teacher, but someone whose work is out there, you get these assignments, and then you find yourself starting to fall into a pattern, which leads you slowly into a habit. It's just nice to have support where you find yourself undermining yourself. Like, we exercise 3 times a week.
Uh-huh.
Why do we exercise 3 times a week? Because we have a trainer waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
When we didn't have a trainer waiting for us, we had such good intentions.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We always had good intentions, but that was not our strong point when it came to exercise.
Right.
But then we got a trainer who would be waiting for us, and that jumped it. So sometimes you just say, I need an external structure until all of the internal voices that trip us up are quieted, because it becomes habit.
Uh-huh.
And
I think I need that. Yeah.
And I think then if you find your way out enough times of these blocks, then you just know you're going to find your way out.
Yes. So, and you can get accountability partners and things like that, where you're checking in on a daily basis with someone who's in the arts, and it's basically, this is what I'm going to do today, and then the next day you say, that's what I did. So you're,
But there's a lot of great classes out there. Just but
UCLA Extension has very good classes in writing.
But if you get with a writing teacher and you have a kind of bad vibe, just run.
Yeah, exactly.
Just run.
Yeah, toxicity is not healthy.
Yeah, because there's very, very helpful, encouraging teachers, and then there are teachers who are just there to lord it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get any kind of like negative, itchy feeling, just don't waste your time with a second try. Just walk away.
Right. Yeah.
Something that's helped me recently is I've been trying to work on my website, and when I'm at home, there's so many distractions from people wanting me to edit to other stuff. And I just go to the library. And every Tuesday now, I go to the library. Now, I want to do what you guys are saying. Get there at a certain time, stay till a certain time. But I'm leaning myself into that. But what's great about the library is not only are there no distractions, and you got to turn your phone off so nobody can call you.
Right.
But you're surrounded by people who are writing mostly.
Yes.
And so you're kind of surrounded by it, which puts you into that kind of...
It's a good vibe. Yeah, it's a good vibe. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's helped me.
Great. Terrific. So anything else, Ian?
No, I guess that's it. I got, that's what I've done. I did a audition I was really proud of, but it's been over a week, so I don't think I got the part. But I was really in the audition, and I looked at that, and I'm like, no, that's the take. That's perfect.
Great.
Great.
And I showed it to my drama coach, and he liked it.
Good.
So it's it's just one of those things. But I really liked that audition. It was a part where an older man, middle-aged man, walks into a doctor's office and meets a young woman there, and can't believe that she's a doctor, so he keeps asking her questions. It just blows his mind. And so that's kind of that was the scene.
That's great.
And I thought I did well.
That's good.
That's good. Well,
congrats.
Casting often doesn't have to do with, unfortunately, the best reader.
No, the best performance.
The best performance.
No.
We've seen so many times that where there was a slam bang wonderful performer, and they hired someone.
Right.
Heaven knows why.
Yeah. There you go. So great, but make sure, Ian, that you connect up with David Bartlett and get on the table email list and all that stuff. So David will do that later. So yeah, you guys can connect. So yay, 3 cheers. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Yay. Thanks a lot. And if you want to see some of Ian's performance as an alien, go on Mr. Sci-Fi, and we posted a video with Ian, and it was great fun.
Yes, if you ever want to hire him, he's a
great.
good
yeah,
sport.
A really
he's
swell
a
guy.
Good sport.
Yes. 3 cheers. Excellent.
They had me in a mask that had no breathing holes in it whatsoever. And I could look at this mask and I'm going, I'm gonna die, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
We don't need no stinking oxygen.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So but it's good to have you here. So welcome. And so David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Indeed. Bruce Moore says,
hi, Bruce.
The Twilight Zone episode called The Fever kept me out of casinos when I was young.
Good.
Who was that fantastic actor in the lead role, and did he do other things?
Oh my God, Everett Sloane.
That was Everett's, the great Everett Sloane. He was in Citizen Kane. He was the little guy with the big nose in Citizen Kane. Then years later, he had nose surgery to be more of a leading man type. The first time he worked with Rod Serling was in a live radio production, live TV production called Patterns, which was the radio play that put Rod Serling on the map and won him his first Emmy. So they had a real history together, and they made a movie with it, and Edward Sloane played the same role. And he was just an amazing actor. He came out of the Mercury Theater. He did a lot of stuff on the radio as well, and he was just one of the great actors. Very, very, very solid and very memorable. So yeah, absolutely.
Incredibly flexible too.
So now we have Judy Beecher. You wanna say what's up, Judy, and go for it.
There we go. I was on mute. Hi,
cool.
Everybody. It's good to see you, Elaine. I'm glad that you're there and feeling okay.
Yes.
So hi, everyone. I'm not sure if I know everyone, but I'm an actress, and I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a director. I'm a producer. And it's been pretty exciting actually lately.
Good.
And I'm packing right now. I'm coming to LA tomorrow. So I'll be in LA for the next month, and
Great.
the month of March. Today I did an interview with SAG Foundation for the team of Tango Shalom. So that's going to be out soon. I don't know when they're going to have it out it's for our movie. We did not win a SAG award.
Bastards.
And we have not gotten nominated for the Oscars, but we were up there, and we were in consideration for all the awards. So that was very exciting.
Cool.
And I played the lead, female in that film, Tango Shalom. And then my music video and my song just came out 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I'll put it in the link so you guys can watch it. I put it on the table, but it's called Paris Ooh La La. And I'll put it in the link. So I've written all these songs, and I have like 13 of them that I wrote and performed, and I have them, and I never got them out. And I have all this stuff now that I've created, and I've never got it out. And I decided I'm going to get all of my work out this year. So I put it out. I got it on all of the streaming platforms, the song, and it's on. And then I shot the video before COVID hit. And so it's really fun.
Great.
And I have a 15-page audition, a lead role of this really amazing feature film that I have been working on. And so I worked for 5 hours with a friend on it today, right after the SAG thing. So and I'm going to keep working on it until it's like amazing and I'm ready to go. It's a really fantastic film. I would be blessed to get this part. I mean, so anyway,
cool.
I'm not going to say anything else. So that's what I've been doing.
Great.
I've been working on that, and I hired 3 interns, and So I'm working on getting my documentary together. We're going to shoot in either right before or right after Cannes. I'm also doing a 1950s film noir, which we began shooting in July of last year. We're going to finish shooting in April when I get back to New York. And so I'm coming to LA to get some work.
Sure.
And to get an agent to do some pictures so I can get some work. So if there's anything I can act in.
Cool.
Space Command or anything else that you're doing.
Okay, cool.
I'm here and I'll be in LA and available. I'm also I wanted to the cars right now are prohibitive. The rent-a-cars, they're crazy. I don't know what's going on, but if anyone has an extra car, I would pay something to use it. Just what a normal rent-a-car rate would have been. I would be very willing to pay. So if anyone has knows of anything. Okay.
Great. And when are you arriving? When are you coming to LA?
Tomorrow.
Oh my God. Okay.
I have to pack. I'm like in the middle of like packing my stuff, and I was like, I'm just gonna jump on real quick.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm coming tomorrow.
Okay.
I get in tomorrow night, and then
Great.
Sunday I'm going to Palm Springs.
Wow.
This Tango Shalom is showing at the Palm Springs Jewish Film Festival. So
Cool.
I'm speaking with Lainey Kazan and Renee Taylor.
That's fun.
And the director.
That's great.
And one of the producers.
Wow. How swell. How fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
And I was just in Virginia. I just came back a couple of days ago from Virginia Beach. They flew me there. Also,
Wow.
I was the only one and I did a Q&A.
Cool.
In Virginia Beach for the Virginia Beach Jewish Film Festival, and then I was also interviewed on the CBN network.
Wow.
The Christian Broadcast Network with Gary Lane. So that's going to be out like in 2 weeks. And I spoke about my documentary, which is not done. And I don't know why. They didn't want to talk about Tango Shalom. They wanted to talk about the documentary. Like everybody's talking about the documentary. I was like, I'm here to represent Tango Shalom. Ask me about Tango Shalom.
No, go where they go.
But they were very interested, in the Holocaust and what's going on.
Great.
Especially what's happening in the Ukraine and the refugees and all these things. So that was the big topic of conversation. And I'm also in Bonjour Paris, which is coming out this week too. It's a magazine, like a French magazine kind of thing. I've done a lot of like interviewing things. I've gotten all my own publicity. So.
Great.
Wow. Great. Good for you.
That's swell. Cool. So, great. Well, we can talk further, once you're here in town and,
that'd be lovely.
Yeah. Many adventures to come. Great. So, okay. Yeah. Well, great. Yay, Judy. Yay, 3 chairs. So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes, there is. So, Scott Baker says, can you think of films besides Her, which basically serve as a slice of life story set in a future time, not a grandiose sci-fi story as much as a story of everyday future life?
Well, Idiocracy would qualify. The problem with anything is you have to have a story one way or another. And there's some science fiction that's subtler than other science fiction, but there has to be a point. I thought Her was very good. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Mexican one with
the what? I'm sorry, what?
Deus Ex Machina.
Oh, Ex Machina. Yeah, that's one as well. Yes. And which one are you thinking of?
There was one that was set in Mexico where these creatures kind of. It was like a little tech guy, and they ended up with.
I don't remember the name of that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's I'd have to put on my thinking cap. I'm sure that more titles would have occur to me. But yeah. So let's see.
Do you remember Brazil from the 80s?
Of course, but I don't know if you could say that's exactly about everyday life. I mean, in a way it is. I mean, Brazil is sort of like Terry Gilliam's take on 1984. Another Earth. Yeah, that would make sense. Yes. Another Earth is
like Moon.
Moon. Yeah. I mean, again, it depends on how you qualify all this stuff. I mean, there's smaller budget and larger budget, and there's some good films all along that spectrum. There's a lot of bad movies at the top budgets.
Safety not guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of that one as others. But yeah, absolutely. So Creation of the Humanoids. But so I guess Kirsten's next on my screen. If you want to take your turn, go for it. as you chew.
I just shoved a big piece of food in my mouth.
Yes, that's the way it always is.
Did you bring enough for everyone?
Yes, really.
Actually, I did.
Wow.
Because I always have to have some leftovers for lunch.
Uh-huh.
That way I don't have to think about lunch.
It's fun.
Definitely. So, hi, I'm Kirsten Jacobson. I'm here in Burbank, California.
Great.
And I do financial services.
Oh, cool.
And the reason I got into this business is because my husband is a composer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody helping composers, as well as other people in the industry that are 1099. And so it's kind of a passion of mine to make sure that people are saving towards their work optional lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're paying themselves first.
Yes.
And that's kind of my destiny, I guess, is to help all you starving artists, make sure that you're taken care of and not, in a bad situation of where you can't work anymore and then you have no savings to fall back on.
Right.
So that's kind of what brought me into this group.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, great. Well,
That's
welcome.
great. Yeah, very
And
much welcome.
definitely share your contact information with everyone so they can, follow up with you. So, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
So anything else?
Awesome.
Anything else you need or any questions?
Any questions? No, I just love to find out what y'all do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can check IMDb, but
Yeah, but I mean,
I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth.
yeah. Well, Elaine and I, are writer, producers, directors. We've been. I've been a professional writer since I was 19, and we've worked for all the major studios and networks, hundreds and hundreds of hours of TV, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Babylon 5, Sliders, started in animation with Smurfs, He-Man, Super Friends, on and on. And I've had bestsellers in fiction and nonfiction,
Yeah, just
stuff like
keeping
that.
busy.
Yeah. And I'm the world's expert on the Twilight Zone TV show because I wrote the Twilight Zone companion. And when I was a wee lad. And so if you want to hear me talk for 30 hours, buy the Blu-ray, and I did 52 commentaries. so
Nice,
that's sort of like the,
And
yeah.
Bonnie, how's your arm doing? Because I know last week you had just had surgery.
Oh,
on your shoulder or your arm?
Elaine.
Is it? I think it's Elaine. Yeah.
Elaine. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
Elaine.
fine. Same difference.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, okay. It's still an arm.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Still working. You're on the mend.
I'm on the mend.
Good.
I'm on the mend.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
getting better, but thanks for asking. So great. Anything else, Kirsten?
No, that's kind
Okay.
of it. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm here to lurk.
Great.
Lurk and learn.
Cool. That's great. Well, 3 cheers. Welcome. Good to see you again. 3 cheers. So,
Thank you.
So, David, is there another Mr. Sci-Fi question?
Yes. Alex Smith says, so
Alex.
writing and painting is like a blank canvas, so you wait for the muse,
No.
which can suddenly give you the idea.
No.
Why is this?
I don't believe on the whole idea of waiting for the muse. The best advice I ever got from anyone was my mom dated a guy who was a retired spy and also a writer. And he said, in terms of writing, the career, he said, amateurs can rely on inspiration, a professional needs discipline. And that's absolutely true. You don't wait for inspiration. You set a regular writing time, a regular writing regimen, and then inspiration comes. It's sort of like if you wanted to lift 500 pounds, you wouldn't suddenly just try and do it and wait until you're inspired to lift 500 pounds. You'd work building yourself up to where you could do that. And it's the same with any career. You need to have craft. You need to have all sorts of muscles to be able to do things well on a regular basis. So
and it's really far preferable that it's something that draws you, where storytelling, other people's storytelling, connected you to your life and to your world in a different, deeper way, and then you wanted to do that. You had a purpose. You had a mission to do what was done for you, and so you look to the world and you want to say greater truths. Or if you see people whose lives are being ruined by little tripwires, and you see the tripwires and you want to write about that, or you were swept away by greater adventure, which kept you going, then you write about that. But it's really it's important. Storytelling is started around campfires because it helped define us to ourselves and the people around us and connected us into some sort of framework. So if you're writing, you're not sitting, oh, I want some sort of bright idea. You want to share a truth, an insight, a connected piece of connective tissue.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So yeah, and but that's the thing of it. I mean, again, it's you allow yourself a place that allows everything to flow and come to you. But that's you don't wait for inspiration, because if you wait for inspiration, you might write one day every year or something. I mean, Tennessee Williams said that he wrote every single day, and out of those 365 days, there might be 5 days when he was really on, at his best. But it took the other days to make that, to open the door to allow that to happen. And so so that's part of it. So let's see. So now we've gone through, I think, everyone. So now I think it's your turn, Elaine.
Oh my! Okay.
Go for it, Elaine. Go for it! Yay!
Well, was a little bit knocked off the horse for about a week.
Yes.
But I'm juggling quite a few different things, and Space
with
Command,
one hand.
With one hand.
Yeah.
With Space Command and something that I'm working with my DP on his piece, and a South African piece that I'm getting help with a friend in England. So anyway, juggling a lot of projects. But what's really interesting is that when you are in pain, when you do have a surgery, it is you find out that the greatest drug is having enthusiasm, being allowed to have enthusiasm for stuff that's around you, because suddenly it goes away. It works better than Tylenol. If you just have something that you're passionate about that you have to do, even though it's been a week of being off, it's like very good to come back. And whenever I would find something to really connect to, I'd forget about the pain, forget about everything. And so, and also to have people to connect to, to interconnect. So it really shows you that if you continue to embrace life, then the hardships or pain or whatever are secondary, so to focus on what you love.
So anything you need?
I hope a good night.
More shoulders. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, yay, Elaine. 3 cheers, Elaine. Yeah. So is there a final Mr. Sci-Fi question, David?
Yes, it's a doozy.
Okay.
Mark Longo says, what do you think of drive-in theaters?
It's funny. I love drive-in theaters. I liked when you had the speaker that you would put on your window. I don't understand, now that they have drive-in theaters where you have to use your car radio or whatever, how your battery doesn't drain. I mean, I haven't been to a drive-in movie since the new age of things. So
it does. I know it does drain that, and they have battery preparation there to help you start your car if it gets that low.
Crazy. That's crazy. It's I really
the radio takes very little if you turn off the engine.
I've had batteries killed by running the radio in a car that's turned off, so I don't want to ever do that again. So, but I love drive-in theaters and
bring a portable radio.
Oh, that's true. Yes, that's not a bad idea, Dave. So okay, great. So now it's my turn, but first I wanted to mention Michael Reeves. My dear friend Michael Reeves, whom many of you know, Emmy winner, great writer, has Parkinson's. He is looking for, his wife mentioned that they are storing his stuff in a 10 by 15 foot space, and it's costing them an arm and a leg each month. And so if any, and I'll put this out as a table email, if anyone has like a part of a garage or something where he could just store the stuff, it would be enormously helpful. It would take a lot of pressure off of him. And, he's a dear soul, and, and every little bit of help that we can give him is a good idea. So, so I'll put that out to the table to see if anyone has space that would, where that would work. And it's stuff from his career. It's just, odds and ends that a writer accrues over decades of work. And so that's that from that. Then for me, things are going great. Elaine is on the mend. It was great to stay in the hospital overnight with her and, make sure that she had, whatever she needed. And, things are going great. We're closing in on being done with the first 2 hours of Space Command and shipping those. we have been actively shooting, and we met with one of our team today to set the schedule. So we're going to be shooting in a little over a week in the departure lounge of a space station at our studio. And then after that, we're going to shoot in the desert. And then after that, we're going to shoot on an alien ship in the days to come. We're continuing to raise money. If anyone wants to buy shares in Space Command, let me know. They're $7,500 each. And what else is going on? The new book, Greenlighting Yourself, is coming out in April. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. And Showrunners Network, that's moving along as well. Tony Etz, who's an agent at CAA, is going to be setting up the meeting for us at Netflix in short order. And you know, it all continues. Huh?
Yeah,
We're doing fine. Life is very exciting, and no complaints. And Elaine now has a bionic shoulder, and in the days to come, you will see her lift cars and do all the things that she'll be able to do. So it's going to be great. And so that's, I think, the main stuff. You know, life is good. And if anyone wants to know more about Space Command, you can go to Mr. Sci-Fi. You can subscribe to it on YouTube. I highly recommend it. There's going to be a lot of very cool stuff on Mr. Sci-Fi in the next few weeks. Oh, by the way, also Joe Scott, who has a terrific YouTube channel and podcast. I just did an interview. He interviewed me for his podcast, and so you can just Google Conversations with Joe, and you'll find it. And I posted a link to it on my Facebook page and Twitter and so forth. But one thing that's going to be really fun is that there's a fan sent me an interview that I did on radio talking about writing for animation 40 years ago. And Michael Reeves and I were on the air talking for a couple hours about that. And so we're going to be posting that on Mr. Sci-Fi very, very soon. And you'll be able to hear I mean, I'm sure I say things that I have no memory of because that was a while ago. But I talk about writing for Smurfs and He-Man and so forth when I was actively doing it. So that should be a lot of fun. So that's about it for now.
Had your voice changed yet at that time?
It's, you know, it's funny. It sounds different, but the speed might be slightly off on that recording because Michael Reeves's voice doesn't quite sound right either. And so I'm not sure. So, but it's fascinating stuff. So, and I'll send you the intro to that, Dave, shortly, and we'll rock and roll. So, so I think that's it for now. The table's here every Thursday. Soon we'll be meeting at Patty's Restaurant for those who are local kids, and it just continues. Anything else you want to say, Elaine? No? Stay safe, stay well, you know, keep going. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye. Bye, my friends on Mr. Sci-Fi. We will talk soon.